Anything special for women watching this?
First of all, happy International Women's Day. Women's Day.
Mhm.
Something by this is my experience. Don't put that pressure on yourself. Most of the situations nowadays is you're gonna probably be the first one, the only one, or just a few one working. If you go to automation and robotics, unfortunately, it's gonna take a few years to have more, more of us there. Hopefully, but don't put the pressure that you have to be the best because you're the only one. You don't. You do your job as as best you can do it, but without that pressure that you have to be the best. Of course, if you want to be the best, you you be the best. But don't go working every day that, oh my god, I cannot make a mistake because I need to justify my place here. That was me. And then you're so afraid to make mistakes that you don't learn. Like most of our knowledge comes from mistakes. We make mistakes and we learn. And that's the process. That's normal in robotics. And once I learned that, I was like, wow, everybody makes mistakes. Yeah. Because we're programming something new never done before, or you're just creating AI that no one has done before. So of course you're gonna make mistakes. And you have to, so that's how you learn. But again, remove that pressure that you have to be the best and that you cannot make mistakes. And then your life is going to be much easier.
Cool. That's amazing. I think that we had a great start already. So maybe I jump into my questions and
Yeah,
quickly ask you, where are you from? What's your educational background? And maybe what were your previous
yeah,
experiences?
well, I'm from Brazil.
Hmm.
I'm living in Ireland right now, but I'm from Brazil. Um, 8 years now in Ireland.
Oh, wow.
And my background is in industrial engineering, or how you call manufacturing engineering, when you translate.
Hmm.
Yeah, then that's my background in Brazil. But when I moved to Ireland, I decided to approach robotics. Well, I did in Brazil, I would say a first training, like an introduction to robotics training. Yeah.
Hmm.
But my background is in engineering.
Okay. So you were in engineering, that's why robotics was something,
No,
or
like in
okay.
Brazil, I would say, like working was zero contact with robots, like zero.
Hmm.
I got trained, like, because I want to, but not because of work.
Hmm. But then why did you chose robotics as
Well, it's a long story, but I'm trying to make it short.
no, take your
Yeah.
time, no problem.
Well, I do have a post as well, explain the whole story. But
Uh-huh.
when I was about to finish, actually, I was finishing my degree in Brazil.
Hmm.
It was launch of that movie Iron Man, the first one.
Oh yeah.
I watched it. I fell in love. Like that's my favorite hero, superhero.
Nice.
And back then, I was talking with my friend back then, my best friend,
Hmm.
and I was just kind of joking, like, "Oh, it'd be so cool if I work with robots," but in a funny way, not like in a possible way. It's like a dream, like
Hmm. Yeah.
I would like to have a Ferrari or something like that.
Yes.
Not like something that I would do it. And he looked at me dead in the eye. I was like, "Why not?" And I was
Sure.
like, "Well, because it's robotics. Like, I mean, like." you know, that's not something I can do it. I'm like, of course I can. You just finished like 5 years engineering, like you can do it. Then they kind of pushed me, and I started looking for other degrees. But I just finished 5 years of engineering. I don't know if you have what your background, but engineering is not an easy one.
Hmm.
So I was like, I'm not gonna do that everything again. I tried to look, but unfortunately, back then in Brazil, there was not many options.
Hmm.
Actually, there was none, at least nearby where I was living, in relate to robotics. It was like mechatronics or something like that, but not specific to robotics. And then I was okay. Let's do a post graduation, something else. Again, it was too far away and was too expensive. And I was like, I'm not gonna invest this now because I'm not even work with that. How are you gonna, spend the money on something and not even like it's just a dream. But my friend said, no, you're gonna do it. So he started like helping me looking for other options. So I did find a training like introduction to robotics more or less, but they have hands-on on the robot. So you would get the introduction, the basics, and you could program the robot. And I was like, oh, that's fantastic. It was not too expensive because I think it was 4 or 5 weekends, Saturdays. So it was like, that's affordable. I don't need to take day off to go, So it's like, if I don't like it, at least it's not something too expensive that I would, have to spend a lot of money. First day, it was so funny. Well, I have that kind of feeling. I think I was everywhere I go. Now it's getting better, but before, first time I opened the door of the training center of the room, the teacher looked at me. It was like, I think you're in the wrong room.
What?
He didn't even ask. No, he didn't even ask my name, what I was going to do. Zero. He looked at me because I was a woman, and he said, I think you're in the wrong class. I look at him. This is Introduction to Robotics. Yes. Yeah, that's the right room. So I got in, I sat down. Everybody looked at me. I was like, what the fuck she's doing here? And I was like I was a normal day, but it doesn't matter. I paid for this. I'm going to do it. And I fell in love the first day. I was like, yes, that's it. So I programmed the first robot. My first robot was not like industrial robot or anything we have now. Was something like looked like you make at home.
Okay.
Was a simple training, but still was I don't remember the language, but I think it was Pascal or something similar. So I programmed. I saw the robot working the first time, and I was like, that's it. That's how I want to do it. But because in Brazil, I was not, as I said, I was not working with robotics, and it was not easy to get into because my background, like, I didn't have any experience. So, and that, I think I was like, okay, I'm gonna leave that behind and see what life happened. And then life happened, and a few months later, or I don't remember, it was a few months or a year later or something like that, I moved to Ireland to improve my English, to learn English, improve it. Was never the plan to stay in Ireland. It was just to come here, learn English, improve my English, and then try another job in Brazil. But over here, after I think a year and a half learning English, another friend told me, like, why should not try? Like, why? Like, the less you can have, the answer you can have is no, but like, you might try, why not? So I applied for hundreds of jobs. I won't remember how many, but
Wow.
I improved my LinkedIn, and I was there every day. Send CVs, connecting to people, talking to people, and I finally got an interview. And because of my background in Brazil, that was amazing. I say that was God, because the way that job aligned, like what they need and what I have, was amazing, because they need someone with background in engineering, in quality. That was something that I used to do in Brazil, like quality, all the ISOs and things like that. So I had that background. Actually, I do now for more than 10 years. I worked while I was studying, and because in Brazil it's different. While you're studying, like your degree, you kind of need to work. Like we study in the evening, or you work during the day. It's not like here that you just study. So I did have the experience in quality. I have the background in engineering, and I have like at least the introduction to robotics, because they want. Yeah, so I was like, and then she saw my CV, and I was like, Vanessa, I need someone to help us to get the ISO for our company, because there are like machine builders that build the machines with robots and everything. But she said, like, there is no one with that expertise, because or you find someone with quality experience here in Ireland, or you find an engineer, but like was at least back then she couldn't find anyone together.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, yeah, that's it. That's God. God help me here. Help me. So I went there, like she liked my profile. Then I helped them to get the ISO, the quality one, I think 9001 or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. And then in exchange, they would help me to get to robotics. So they would train me to become a programmer in their company. So it was great. And I would say that how happened. But again, is because I tried. Again, I said like hundreds. I wouldn't know how many emails I send, how many people I approach. Um, but it's just aligned that the thing that they needed, I have in my background in Brazil, not relate to automation.
I think it was completely like a fate, or
Yeah,
universe
that's what
was.
I'm saying. Yeah, it is meant was meant to be
Yes, I think you put
because
efforts, of course. That's why I think.
yeah, no, like of course I did the training. I kind of improved my LinkedIn back then. Like I had to redo the whole LinkedIn, my CV.
Mm-hmm.
I did like paid an agency here in Ireland to help me rewrite the LinkedIn because the way
Mm-hmm.
they do here in Ireland is different from in Brazil. Like the way
Mm-hmm.
you kind of approach a company as well. The CV is different. The way you go to the interview. I'm not saying it because it's in English. No, like the way you approach in Brazil is different. Like here,
Mm-hmm.
you need to have a cover letter. No, in Brazil, not. Here, more information is better. No, in Brazil is less. Like
Mm-hmm.
in Brazil, your CV has to be like 2 pages. That's all. Like a page is better. Here, more. Like it have to be at least 3 to 4 pages. And it was like, what? No, like we don't do this. Oh yeah, but in Brazil sometimes you use pictures, at least again back then. I'm 8 years in Ireland. And here no, you don't use pictures, you use this. And I was like, okay, so that approach also, and of course looking for jobs, and I would say reading like properly what they need
Mm-hmm.
as again because I approached that company. I didn't see that position back then. I don't remember if they had that position on LinkedIn or on the website
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes small companies they don't post that on the website because they
Yeah.
don't control the website. Every time
Mm-hmm.
they need to update the website, you probably know like I have that myself. I need to update my website. I have to pay someone to do that for me. So sometimes they don't post all the jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did, I was like, okay, I was living in Dublin, that's the capital, and I tried everywhere there. I was like, you know what? Let's try outside Dublin and small companies. Who knows? And that was my strategy that worked in Ireland back then. Again, what I'm saying here might not work today, but what I did was approach small companies outside Dublin.
Mm-hmm.
So I start like connecting on LinkedIn that people that work on those companies, and sometimes sending message, sometimes sometimes they answer, sometimes not.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you like send email, sometimes you don't have that email, but making that movement of a small company.
Mm-hmm.
And that worked for me because they are looking for people, and they still nowadays it's a big thing, like still a big gap here for people, but in the countryside, because people want to move to Ireland, they go to Dublin and they're expecting to find a job. Yeah, but the factories, the machine builders are outside. You need to go outside, and I mean it's a small city, yeah, comparing to Dublin it is, but it has quality of life, safe, still safe. And well, that worked. That was kind of my strategy. After a few attempts in Dublin, I tried small towns around it, and I got actually, yeah. After I got that job, like other companies start answering my emails because remember I sent like hundreds. So they started replying because they needed as well. But like again, I already had the job, so I just said thank you. But now I have a job, so.
Yeah, yeah. I think it just started snowballing. So,
Yeah, yeah. Once you have it, but again, you need to find a strategy. Sometimes,
mm,
let's say, it might not work for all the, I would say, job positions. It might not
mm,
work with IT. IT might have more companies in Dublin, but by experience living in Ireland, the machine builders and the factories are outside Dublin.
mm,
they're not there. So you need to be open to move, to relocate, to go to a small town. And I would say if we're starting like I did, or that's where I want to work, really, really like, I don't think that I had a bad time for my decision.
Yeah, yeah, of
Of
course.
course, the salary is not the same as in the big city, but
Mm.
still you're not having the same amount of expenses in the
Hmm.
big city. So
Yeah, yeah, I think that's amazing that you didn't give up and go back or something.
no, no, like I
So,
tried, and again, like I was like, why not? Let's see, like, well, then, well, we say this in Portuguese. You already have the no, right? Like the no you already have, because if you don't send, you have the no, but you can get like why you trying the yes, like yeah, try it, why not?
hmm.
So
That's amazing. That's a very inspiring thing for a lot of people for sure. Yes.
yeah, because I know the woman, like I thought it was just me, but then we started talking with other women after, I started on LinkedIn, I started talking to more
Hmm.
women, and I realized that it's kind of our majority.
Hmm.
We are scared of trying something that we are not 100% confident we can do it.
Yeah.
Was like, oh, but I don't have experience on that.
Mm.
I might not try it. And meanwhile, the guys, the men, are trying because they know they can do it. Like they don't have the experience, but they have the confidence that they can do it. And I think that what is missing for us. Well, I don't know, but I know I can do it. So why not try it? And that's the difference. Like I worked with people before that was like, how did you land this job? I swear to God, like it was not just one or two. Like, it was, fortunately, I cannot name it, but like I worked even in Brazil and here, I worked with people in really good positions, men that you could ask yourself how that person land that job, how this person is in such high position, or even like responsible programming something like this, and doesn't have like half of the knowledge required for that, or experience or zero. And meanwhile, here we are. I was like, oh yeah, no, I just have like the intermediate training. I'm not gonna try because I think they need the advanced training too. Meanwhile, the guy that just watch a video on YouTube or even get the basic training is applying for the same job with the confidence that he can do it.
Yeah, yeah. I think girls are more perfectionist. That's why they're like, okay,
Yeah,
until
yeah,
unless
but
I'm
that's
perfect.
the point. We need to stop with
Mm.
perfection. We don't need to be the best.
Yeah.
We just need to like enjoy ourselves and do what we can do with the best. Like again, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do your best, but you don't need to put that pressure on yourself
Hmm.
that you need to be the best of the team, because I did that to myself and it was not great. Because again, I was the first on that training, my first introduction to robotics. I was the first in this company that I got in as a program. I was the only woman working in the on the factory floor. There was other three more women that was working on the accounts department,
Hmm.
but the whole other engineering department, I was the only woman there for years. I
Wow.
just hired one like in the last year I was there. But again, I was the first. So in my mind, of course, a few people would put that pressure on you,
Mm.
but not everyone, especially here in Ireland. Thank God they're really nice people. They wouldn't do that to you. But I would feel pressure that I need to justify my place there. Like that feeling. Oh, because I'm the only one here. I'm the first one here. I need to justify why I'm here. So I worked twice harder. I was doing a lot of things. I was, oh my goodness, killing myself to do the best and go beyond and above and beyond. And it was not really necessary, because doing my job in the good way, the best way I could do was enough. But
Mm.
in my mind, that pressure that you need to be the best.
Hmm.
Otherwise, you would not get a place, or say a place on the table. And shouldn't be like that. If you do your job right way, good way, and that's enough. Like we we don't need to be the first, or you don't need to be the only one. You don't need to justify a place. You just need to be there, enjoy yourself, doing the job the best way you can do it. But that's it. Don't put that pressure that because you're the first or
Mm.
because you're the only one, you have to be the best.
Yeah, I think a lot of people unknowingly do this, and they have to recognize this thing that they're doing it, and it's not helping anyone because
Yeah, no.
they don't even expect this from you.
Yeah, I mean, thank God for my when I started and the few companies I worked with before I opened my business. I didn't have that feeling. Of course, there is one or another, but that's normal everywhere you're gonna face. And I would say
Yeah.
in any other field, not just robotics. When I was working in engineering, was the same.
Hmm.
There was always someone, but that's not the point. The thing is, the majority was okay with me and just was myself. That fear, that was the problem. And I just realized that when I opened my business, there was just my fear. Of course, still a few people that was like, oh, she's a woman. I don't know if she knows what she's saying about what she's doing. It's still like I know we can gonna have that for years. That's not gonna change from today to tomorrow. But that's not just in robotics; it's in other field. But I believe that pressure we don't need to put in ourselves. And after I understood that, I don't need to be the best. I don't need to be the only one. I don't need. I don't. I'm just doing what I would like to do it the way I would like to do it, and that's it. If people like, fine, and if they don't, it's fine too.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
completely agree.
just the pressure.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's amazing that you're sharing this, and this is going to reach to a lot of women who does that. Yes. So, on that note, you said like you are a founder now. So I wanted to know like when did you decide to be a founder, and then like what was the journey like?
Actually, it was around 3 years ago.
Hmm.
I think no, it was around COVID time.
Oh, okay.
Because during COVID, I think I did like 2 years of COVID.
Hmm.
Sounds like 10 years. Sounds like last year, but it's like almost
Yes.
5 years ago. I changed companies in between, but I never stopped working
Hmm.
because the companies I worked with, um, they couldn't stop. Well, they have some agreement with the government,
Hmm.
so I never really stopped in COVID. Well, just stopped traveling, not working. And one thing that I was asking a lot was like, why I cannot work from home?
Hmm.
Because of course I need to test the robot, but the coding part, like when you're writing the code, we don't need to be near the robot. Or when they're assembling the machine, that there is no power on the robot, you don't need to be there. You can work from home, like we're doing this now. And then when the robot is ready, you can go and test. The answer was always no. You need to be here. You need to be here. And then I changed jobs with the same expectation. I want more freedom. Like everyone is working from home. Like why not us? I changed them from a factory, and the same thing. No, you need to be here all the time. No, 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 no. Was almost, and then was like, but that is the risk of, to get COVID. And still, I was sitting on my desk half of the week on my desk. So I then,
Wow.
yeah, I was like, but that's not fair. Like I can do this work from home, have good Wi-Fi. Why not? And I started asking myself, and then with therapy, I was doing therapy back then to help myself with my confidence.
Hmm.
And then I was like, came there after in our conversation. She was like, why you don't open your own business? And I was like, same thing that I said to my friend. Like, I don't know. That seems so, out of, doesn't seem that I would be able to do it.
Hmm.
I just like, why not? Like, you're going to do the same as you're doing just on your way. And like, after that conversation, I started thinking about it. Like, yeah, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to do it. I'm doing it. The programming the robots, the troubleshooting, and, even teaching training, but I can also work with other brands because it was always my dream to get training other brands, like knowledge. Like I always want to know more. And I could never go to trainings because I had to go to work every day. Or, day off was a nightmare to get a day off. So I quit and opened my business. But that was, again, it was not that easy. Because I agreed back then with my boss that I would work half of the week for them and half for me. So, so for a few months until he finds someone to replace me. And then for me would be good. So I would still have income while I open my business. Woo, everything great. Yeah, until the first week happened.
Okay.
Yeah, everything was agreed. Everything was amazing. Everybody happy. First week, I worked 2 days, 10 hours each day to, compensate. Then I didn't show up Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Mm-hmm.
On Friday, I received an email. I was like, well, Vanessa, what's going on? We didn't receive any, email from you. Is everything okay? I was like, well, remember our agreement? Like, yeah, start this week. Oh, he just forgot.
He forgot?
No, I don't. Yeah, he denied everything.
Mm-hmm.
He called me there on Monday. So I went to he was like, what are you talking about? I was like, yeah, we had that conversation 2 weeks ago. I explained to you. Actually, I told him a while back that I would open my business.
Mm-hmm.
Like I told him in October, and then this just happened in February. So it was just a gap. But he just denied, and it was like, no, Vanessa, I thought you were joking. I was like, what do you mean joking? Like, we just had that meeting before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it was January. It was like, we just had that meeting before Christmas. Everything was aligned.
Mm-hmm.
That we start back again in January. That was the way. He denied. He asked, no, we cannot do that. And he started laughing at me because I was going to open my own business. Are you crazy? Are you insane? Is the thing going to work? Well, I looked at him and I was like, well, first of all, I want to try now that I'm young. And not in 10 years that I'm going to regret. If it doesn't work, it's fine. I can go back anytime to work with programming. I still have I'm not losing my background to try. And second, like, I've done worse. I moved to Ireland without English, without knowing anyone, and here I am. So why not? And he didn't believe me. He thought I would come back the other day. And well, actually I had the contract, but anyway, then I sit down, I was like, okay, I need to make my decision because I cannot work with him with somebody else, start my business.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to I would say to take the jump. I would say for me it was a jump, a scary one, because I wouldn't have the safe net of having that income coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Like you go or you don't. So, of course, I prepared myself. Again, I told him in October. So since October, I was saving money. I was planning myself. It's good for that. So I was planning. I was like, okay, now I can stay at home, not traveling, not spending a lot of money. I can stay 6 months, comfortable. And then I can find other clients. That was, in my mind, my plan. So I went him in the other week and told him, like, okay, that's my letter. I'm leaving now by the end of the month. Give him the notice. And he was shocked. He really thought that I would not do it.
He didn't think that you were serious.
No, he tried to convince me to change my mind until the last day. And I was like, sorry, I'm going to try. So, and after that, and I was like, I'm going to try it. And if it doesn't work, fine. But at least I'm going to try it.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I would say it was a good and a bad, not a good experience, but a necessary experience. Why? Because I was too afraid.
Mm-hmm.
The only way to trust myself was, no safe net, just go for it. And actually, this was February, by end of February, I finished. So I went to a training at Kuka to start my trainings. And I have a training there, and then I have my annual leave to Brazil. So it's like, I'm going to Brazil first before I start my business, because when you start that, you want to focus. I don't want to spend money, So I was okay. I'm to go to my training, then Brazil, and then start the business. So thing happened is on the training there, I was talking to the guys with the Kuka people there, and then was like, Vanessa, are you sure? Like I have clients that I have customers that need support in programming. Anyway, back and forth, and life happened. I went to Brazil, and when I landed in Brazil, you turn on your Wi-Fi, your internet. I just received an email to a client from Kuka, and I was
Wow.
like, wow. And then like, but we need you now. I was like, I'm
Mhm.
sorry, I just landed in Brazil. Like, you need to wait a few weeks.
Yes.
And I came back. I
Mhm.
had a client when I came back, but I didn't have my bank account. I just had. Thank God I had the business name and everything registered, but that's what all I had.
Wow.
I didn't have like I had the email,
Mhm.
and I remember that I bought the website because back then a friend just told me just buy the name and hold it because because
Yeah,
I already had opened the business, so to not lose the name on the website. So I bought the
the domain.
domain, and that's all I had.
Mhm.
So I came back. I didn't have a bank account, and they need a bank account to
Transfer the
start
money.
all the start
Uh, the
to
company
register
registered form.
as a supplier. You need a lot of information. I was like,
Mhm.
oh my god, and that's how it happened. And I was so glad because I was like, it's not that difficult. Like you just need to talk to people and trust in yourself. And I got that like to start like in March. I think March, April. Went through until December with the same client, big projects, and it was great. So it was like just showing me that was just my fear or not try. And once I decide, because again I have to take that chance. I could not, because of course if you can, you should have that safe net. If you like, I know some friends of mine that did that, like they work half and a half so they could have at least some income coming in. But I did not. I just took the jump and I said, like, I know, like I can figure it out. If it doesn't work, that's fine. And now it's been out 3 years, and here I am. Like have like I would say the good and the bad moments, but at least I can manage my time. I can work from home. Like I can work from Brazil. Like when I go to visit my parents, I can work from there. You know, and I can learn other robots. Like since I opened my business back then, I just knew two robots. That was ABB and Kuka, and since then I got trained in other five.
Wow, that's
Yeah, and
huge
just like
knowledge.
I would not have that working for somebody else. So I think everything aligned to my goal, what I wanted, and yeah, it's just, but the fear again was on me.
Yeah, I think you took the leap of faith and I mean, it was just like you were talking to people and then the client landed to you
Yeah,
directly. So,
and then, again, it was a fear because when I was talking to them was not never the intention or to selling
mm,
the business because again I did not have anything ready.
hmm
I just went to the training and they asked me like where I was working, and then I was like, well, I was working in such company, but now I'm open my own business.
hmm
And they're like, why? What were you doing? And then I told them like
mm,
as a presentation, and then I was like, wait a minute. Then the director come in, Vanessa, give me 5 minutes here after the training. And it's like, I heard that you want to be a programmer, like gonna open your business. It's like, yeah. And then he asked, you're gonna be freelancer. It was like, not really. I want to be like a company because I want to register. I want to have all the documentation
hmm
and also insurance. Of course, the freelance. I think freelancer can do that, but I want something um, more.
kind
I
of a
would
brand.
say, yeah, like a brand because a
hmm
freelancer you're not really don't have that much brand. And it was like, and then, of course, the intention was to grow someday.
hmm
So that is start like a company and everything. And he was like, Vanessa, I have clients, let me know. And I was like, oh my God, I don't have anything ready. But again, it's talking to people. And but like but that just happened on the week that I decide to quit, and it was like, that's it. That fear went like, I'm gonna try it, and that's it. Once I overcome my fear, then the doors start opening.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. That's also a lesson that I think a lot of people should try. Because a lot of times we want to do something, and it's always like, oh, I think it's not a secure job, or we don't have a constant income, and then maybe if it doesn't work out, what will people say, or maybe what would I
Yeah,
do next, or
yeah. And then what I told myself was like, well, okay, let's sit down and write like what the worst can happen.
best thing.
I said, oh, okay, I opened my mind. What the worst can happen? I don't have any clients, but fine. Okay, I still can get the trainings done. I was like, yeah, because I have a discount. The government have a support for business. So, okay, I still can do my trainings, fine. So the worst is not having money in. But like I have my savings. I was like, I can still have 6 months. I was like, okay, I have 6 months for me. In 6 months' time, and then I have like a target. If in such day I don't get any customer or any clients, then I'm gonna start looking for a job. That was my plan. So it's like I do have a plan and don't stick to the plan. So thank God happened before I even started, because my plan was to start when I come back from Brazil, and it happened like in between. But I still have that plan today. I was like, okay, if I go such months without a client, or how long I can go without a client before I start looking for a job. Okay, and that's it. So I just thought about what the worst could happen to me, and then make a plan about that. So then I was more comfortable. But the thing is, I don't regret, because it was like, oh, you could be making more money maybe in another company. Like there are big companies there that you're paying like maybe the double and things like that. I mean, yeah, but I want to try that now to see how it works, where to get that experience, see how it goes. But I know that fear. I know that, and especially like I don't have kids. I don't have that people depend on me, so that was a good thing. But I know that some people, some women over there has that, and then it's like, why you cannot get that, that jump because I have kids, I have things to worry about. But the thing is planning. If you save money, if you plan, you might be able to do it if you want to. Of course, in this situation, they might need the support extra and help. Like for me, it was different. Um, but that's like you need to plan, and you need to see why you can do it. But as you said, the confidence that things doesn't go right, you can manage. Because like just think the worst things that happened to you in life, did you manage? Like you survived, you're here. So like as I said to my boss back then, like I came to Ireland without English, without knowing anyone, and here I am. So something that doesn't go as a plan, like you plan again, you find another way, and that is the mindset we have to have, because that's the majority of men have. Like they might not know everything, or they might not have the experience, but they kind of have that mindset. Okay, if it doesn't work, I can try another thing.
Yeah.
And that's how I believe we should start thinking. And I did. I was like, okay, if it doesn't work, I have plan A, B, C, D, E. Like I
Wow.
have a lot, and like be prepared. Like,
Hmm.
but you okay, none of those plans worked, and fine, like you figure out another thing.
Yeah, I
I
think, yeah, the biggest takeaways from your points, I think, planning, thinking about the worst case scenarios, and not fearing from them. I think those are the
Yeah,
things.
and yourself that anything, I wouldn't say bad, but like anything that is not accord to the plan happen, you'll be able to manage.
Hmm.
Like you will overcome. I would say that's how my brand, the Robot Queen, happened. Because that
Yeah.
was not a plan.
Okay, I'm super interested to know like what is the story.
Well, last year, like I started posting on LinkedIn.
Hmm.
Oh, I have LinkedIn for more than 10 years now, but I started posting around 2 years ago. But then I think last year around January, no, actually a year before, November 2023, 23, I was like, okay, I need more clients. How I approach the client? So I got some marketing mentoring sessions and a few things, and then I have a friend that thank God work with marketing. So I scheduled a meeting with her because she did my website back then. She helped me with a few things. So I scheduled a meeting and asked like, what should you do? Like LinkedIn seems to react to my videos, and she's like, oh, you need to post about your work. Approach my clients. I was not allowed to post any of the videos of my
Yeah,
unfortunately.
agree.
No, no pictures. Like I posted a picture once, I had to take it down because my client was not happy, and I posted was more than once that I had to take down videos and pictures because they are not happy with. And then my friend was like, "But you need to post about you." So I was like, "How do I share my knowledge, my work without showing my clients
Hmm.
or the robot?" So I kind of sat down and thought about it. I thought about it. I was like, okay, I have a good relationship with the brands in Ireland, like where I got trained. They have the robots, and I believe they would like the free marketing. So I sent emails, and thank God all of them agreed and was like, yeah, Vanessa, you can come along. For like some of them found funny, like because no one was doing this. And my goal back then was to show that I know to program the robots, to get more clients to my company, to my business. And I did this. Like the first video was so funny that Jesus Christ. But you have to start in some point.
Yeah.
They can judge them as much as they can, but like I did the best. I thought it was okay. And I recorded a few videos. I think it was first with Pupa. Then I went to, I think, Panu and Yaskawa and I record the videos and start posting. Again, was the main goal was to get clients. But I realized my clients does not use LinkedIn because they're
Yeah.
working. They're working. So it started going to another way.
Hmm.
That other people was approaching me, not
Oh.
for my business, but for marketing, like to promote on LinkedIn. And then we sat down again. I think November last year. The person, my friend that helped me with the video edition and a few things, and I told her like the strategy it worked half because the point was to grow on LinkedIn and get people to know me. I mean that part worked amazing, but I did not get clients for that. But it's open here another door. Again, did not go as a plan. But then I saw another opportunity. I was like, okay, people are looking for an influencer. Like they are liking the way I record the videos, how I explain in the videos, how I show that it's easy, like the way I explain complex concepts. And then, okay, let's then have a brand on its own. So I did not open as a company, not yet, but I got the name. I got the what you call when you buy the name.
Domain?
Uh, not the domain, the
Trademark?
trademark. Yeah, I
Hmm.
got the robot thing as a trademark.
Hmm.
And I told my friend, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna make another company, like open another company yet, because I do still have my own, so I can work around this. To see how it goes. Again, to see how it goes. Just start this year as really influencer. I have a few partnerships from last year, but because the amount of companies that approach me, I decided I was like, okay, that is another opportunity here. Again, did not go as a plan because my plan was not this. My plan was to get clients to my business, but I saw an opportunity and I was like,
Hmm.
okay, let's try this. If it doesn't work, I still can get like again is the that I would say the knowledge of myself, the confidence of myself. I know if it doesn't work, I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna figure out another way. if it doesn't work, the robot queen, like a lot of people laughed, but a lot of people found it cool. Like a lot of people like, and a lot of people don't, and that's fine. Oh, Vanessa might not work. Great, I'm learning. Like I'm learning marketing now. Like everything, like I'm learning. Like I already know about the robots. I already know how to make the videos. But now in marketing, like you need to get more into it. Like what else you can do it? Like I'm learning about LinkedIn all the time. But again, if it doesn't work, might open another door. But how I would know if I never tried? That's the question. Like no one would get to me like today. It was like, well, Vanessa, I think you should, open a business or go with another. But no, nobody told me. Like I saw the opportunity. It was like, well, let's try. But the thing again, well, again, it didn't work for one thing, but worked for another, and that's I think the confidence we have to have. Okay, if this doesn't work, can I make something out? Yeah. So
Yeah, at least you gained experience in something
yeah,
different than.
you met people. Like I met so many people by now that like by like last year, like in June, I was in my mind like if I want to close down my business, I have at least 5 job offers on my speed dial on my phone.
Wow.
That, that's how many people I had met like by June last year. Like now, I would count like I wouldn't count how many. But the thing is, you met people like every experience you have, you learn, you improve, and you adapt. But it's on you. Like that's the fear. Once you understand the fear, when you learn with yourself, I think anything can happen, and you just try to do your best.
That's amazing. I think the journey being from working for someone to working for yourself, I think that was an amazing journey. I think a lot of people will learn from you in this case. And what were your biggest challenges in this journey? Or
Uh, well, I would say back then when I make the decision to cut the have a safe net like this income getting in every month, that was the biggest challenge. Of course, because of the fear. But why? Because I never had that before. I always worked. I always had my money. Or before that, when I was a teenager, I was having my money like something. Like I didn't need to worry about money because my parents was paying for everything. But once I started working, I was paying for everything. So I did not have that feeling. I was like, okay, I need to do something else to make money now. Like I wouldn't have that safe net. And I would say that was by now the biggest one. Why? Because it is a leap of faith. You don't know
mm,
what's gonna happen. Again, like I didn't know. Like if you asked me 3 years ago if I would be an influencer or I would be who I am on LinkedIn, I was like, I would laugh at you. I would be like, ah, come on, you're joking. Like a YouTube channel like me, like recording videos, like no. Like when I started recording videos, I said like, no, I'm not doing that. And my friend, like, you have to, like, if you want to, to show yourself, you have to record videos. And, but the thing is, that safe net, because
mm,
when you're working, if you're doing a great job or not that great job, you're still having your salary.
mm,
If the company is not performing well or it is, you're still getting your salary. But when you open your business, it's not the same. Like you're
mm,
gonna have like really good months and months that you don't have any projects. And that thing that was like, okay, I need to make the choice now. I need to try. And I would say that was the most big, like the biggest challenge that I had, at least in the past 3 years. And the thing that I did was to trust myself, like fully 100%. I was like, if it doesn't work, I know that I can get out of whatever happens. So
yeah, I think someone said, I don't know, but that salary is something which is addiction. So it's very hard to get rid of it when you have a constant stream of money and then you're like okay, no, I want to follow my dream. I want to build I want to build Jarvis from
Yeah,
Iron Man. Then I think it's very difficult decision. But I think, as you said, like being confident enough for yourself and also prepared for what comes next. I think that's the
exactly.
best way.
And when I opened my business, money was not the main goal. Like, oh yeah, I
Mm,
want to make 3 times more than I'm doing today. That was no, that was not my goal. My goal was like
mm,
learn more because I would want to go to get more trainings and also opportunity to have a more flexible schedule. So I could work from home, that I could travel and work from where I am, and also to travel to the clients and work outside Ireland as well, travel abroad to work. That was kind of my goal, like to meet people and learn more, more and more. So my goal, like still, like I'm reaching those goals. Am I making more money than before? Maybe not. If I was having the same job, like by now, if I was still working in automation, I probably would be making more money outside than I'm, doing right now. But still, would I have this flexibility? Maybe not all the companies would offer me that. Maybe there is some, and I know some that really do it. But now it's a little. I don't know if I would go back to work for somebody else. But yeah, that feeling that, well, how am I gonna pay my rent next month? Well, thank God I plan ahead. I never had that situation that I have no money. But like I understand because like, oh yeah, your salary you pay for everything.
mm-hmm.
So once you cut that out, how you start paying for it if you don't know if you're gonna get clients or not. And that's again because that was the question I asked myself, and that was my biggest fear. Like I said again, it was the worst scenario that could happen to me. I plan ahead and I saved like 6 months of expenses. So what I did, cut everything that I could. Oh yeah, no, I don't need to go to the cinema every month. Yeah, fine. We can just go like once every 3 months. Yeah, that's great. I don't need new clothes every month. Like, start cutting things that you don't need it because again, priorities. I had my priority. So I saved that money and I said if I keep lower with my expenses, I can keep that 6 months, so I'd be fine. And like I know people that save for a year and did that. And again, if it doesn't work, in my mind was if it doesn't work, I still have the experience now plus all the trainings I got, so I can come back anytime, and I still can go back anytime to find a job. But of course, if you're changing, like field might be a little bit different. If you're not, let's say you're working in automation and then you decide to open a restaurant or things like that, it might be a little bit different at that point. I cannot answer how it would be. But the thing is, I prefer failing now than in 10 years' time.
Yeah, the risk factor is more that time. So yes.
Yes, like I mean, I prefer if I fail now because I know I have the strength and to come like overcome to find another way, to find another thing, to get another job. Like in 10 years I won't be able to do that because right now if I want to relocate I can just change country or
Mm.
change move to another city. But in 10 years time when I have my like let's say buy a house or something like that, I would be willing to move to another country. Something doesn't happen, or yeah, those things I think you need to think about. If you can try now. Why not? Like if it doesn't work, at least you try.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, I think more strings gets attached when it's like we get older. So yeah, it's the best thing to do as much as possible if you can.
That's
Yes.
that. Yeah, yeah.
And how do you keep yourself updated with new technologies and new robot automation systems which comes
Uh,
in?
Cheers. That's a lot. Now it's a lot. I lost count how many new robot brands I'm trying to. But I would say I would not know all of them right now, the brands. But with the ones I work with, I keep updated with training. So Usually they don't launch a new training, like the whole new training. What they do is like a refresh when they change the controllers, when they update the software. So I try to go there and to get that refresh. For example, I think not like Fanuc and I think Kuka, they had like a new Teach Panel, but now they have that online. So I just went there and did the whole training, online training. It's free. It's the ones I post about it. So you can just go there and let that do that refresh. I always, do that with the brands I work with, and to go to the events and trade shows
Hmm.
and to understand the new technology, what is coming in. Because one thing is, how is your client, how is the factors now, and what is new. Of course, there is a gap and a big one in between, but I try my best to keep updated because that might help in some point. Unfortunately, not all my clients are that updated, but for at least I'm finding very interesting the new options and everything's coming new, especially now with AI,
Mm-hmm.
because they're adding AI in, I would say, everything now, and that's what is for me, I would say, not that easy to keep updated, because now it's not AI on just in the camera, it's AI on the sensors, it's AI on troubleshooting, it's AI for maintenance, it's AI on the programming side. So it's a lot of options, and I'm trying my best to keep that updated.
Yeah, I think it's getting into everything possible. AI is getting into
Yeah,
everything.
no,
So,
that is impossible. But like at least knowing the possibilities. For example, when I go to the trade shows, I try to see what is new.
mm,
So if let's say my client needs something, it's like, okay, I know that that exists. So I, Google or at least have some business card. I was like, okay, let me double check this.
mhm.
And that happened a few more than once, that I met someone on the trade show that was explaining what they do. I got the card, and then somebody else was like, "Oh yeah, do you know someone that does this?" I was like, "Yeah, I do." And then I might not remember everything that person told me, and I think that's impossible for anyone to remember.
Yeah.
But at least the main concept of of that project was like, yeah, no, I know they do this and that, but I'm not sure they do everything you need, but you can check. And that's how I kind of manage, like not remember everything, but at least something, like from, the name of the company, more or less what they do. And it was like, okay, they do grippers. So what type of grippers? Or I think what um, I don't remember now, but it was something on the gripper that actually what the gripper was. Um, Vacuum. I'm not sure it was a vacuum, but they would pick apart without touching the part. I wouldn't
Oh.
remember the technology.
Mm-hmm.
But it was amazing when I saw. I was like, wait a minute, it is really millimeters. You wouldn't see, but you need to really look close. But would pick the part. No, it was not vacuum. It was something else, another type of technology. Well, that's the technology. Would pick the part. So I think it was just small part, but then it wouldn't touch that. So it would be great for pharmaceutical companies. And I was like, and then somebody else here and I was looking for some technology. It's like, yeah, I know this guy that I met. Again, sometimes they ask me, Vanessa, I want to build the robot myself, but like, I don't want to kind of do everything. I was like, yeah, you can go here to the website, you can buy this and that and kind of do it yourself, but still you can use their software to control it. You don't need to write your own software. It's still, but again, just because I heard I would know everything, no, but at least
Some
and
connections.
something. So I would say the trade shows are the best
Mm-hmm.
for the new technologies, because you're gonna find a little bit of everything. Because if you look online, you wouldn't find that. You wouldn't be able to read everything it's about it.
Yeah, 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 that's very true. I think there are big trade fairs in Germany as well, like Hannover Messe and SPS and these kind of big trades, which I went last year, so it was pretty
Yeah, no,
interesting.
Hanover Mass is the first one. Hanover Mass is the first one I'm going this year.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, first time. Sorry, the first time I'm going this year.
Hmm.
And Automatica is the second time, and
Oh yeah.
Automatica was huge. And there, I learned that was the place I learned about this technology and so much more.
Hmm.
And I think it's the I mean, if you don't want to spend money with trainings or just want to know about it, not just to keep updated, but like
Hmm.
people that again when I started I wasn't sure. Just go like you can they let you some brands let you jump the robots. And I remember last Automatica they have like free trainings. You just need to
Mm.
schedule and you could get trained. Of course, it was not the whole training, but well, I even got the certificate. So
Yeah.
if you want to learn and see the new technologies, that's I would say the best way.
Hmm. Yeah, that's amazing. I think it's especially for students or someone who's just trying it out, and then maybe these kind of sessions would be really interesting
Yeah,
for them.
I would say for like everyone, like for someone that is starting or someone that's
Mm.
already in robotics and automation. Because, for example, I like before when I was working for somebody else, they usually don't go to these trades events
Mm.
unless they are exposing it,
Mm.
exhibiting, but
Exhibiting,
they
yes.
wouldn't go. I wouldn't like. I just heard about. I think after I started and opened my business, like the year that I was thinking about it, that someone told me, "Yeah, you should go because there, where you're gonna, have some networking and meet people." And that's the thing to me is the best, I would say, for trade show. Not just for the knowledge, because the knowledge you still can Google, you can still get in another way. Um, but the networking, you would meet people there that might be like help you find a job. Or again, I heard that once and I get that for life. That person might not work what do you want, but they might talk with somebody else. For example, you're talking with me now, you might not have a robot, you don't need someone to program a robot, but in 2 weeks' time, if someone talk to you and it's like, oh yeah, I just bought this robot and I need help, you're gonna remember me. It's like, no, I just met this person, Vanessa. She is a programmer. Like, I don't know her card, but wait a minute, I know her from LinkedIn, and then that's how it works. And that after I learned that, and then thank God I learned that my first year when I opened my business, that changed my mind to talk to people. Because a lot of people, at least that I met, would just talk to someone who was like, yeah, but they work in marketing. I don't want to, work in marketing. I want to work with the production guys. Or I don't want to work in accounts. I just want to work in sales. So I'm not going to talk with those people. I was like, yeah, but that person
Me no.
might know, the thing is, the people, they talk to each other, and that's how you can get a job, and that's how you can get clients, and that's how you can get opportunities, because people talk. So when you meet people, just when you go to the events, talk to people. The salesperson, maybe they have something interesting to say. Maybe there is a free training that you're not know about it. Like when when I went, like I always ask, do you have any free trainings, do you have anything? You ask. Like that's how I learned that Universal Robot had a free training online. That's how I learned that Coca had a free online training. You know, and you might get a free training as well. I got free training, of course. Back then I had the business, so that helps. But if you're already working in automation, you might get some discount. You might get a free license. Like I remember from some softwares in Automatica. I was like, yeah, I do this and this, that. Do you have free license? Oh yeah, we are giving for some people. And I got like 30 days, 60 days. But then again, you talk to people. You talk and you met again. That person was like, yeah, but I don't want to work in sales. That person worked for sales. Like, he doesn't, like, that's not where I want to be. I was like, yeah, but that person talked to everyone in the company. So he might know that is a job for you that or not, or somebody else.
Yeah, I think
So
when we also went to Hanover Messe and we talked to a few people and then we figured out, oh, they are all mostly salespeople. Then we were a bit confused. Should we talk to them? Does it make sense? Should
yeah,
we?
it's like someone more technical. I would like to talk with someone more technical.
Mhm.
You can ask, like, because for me, it's funny. It might change now that I hope people know me better. But like the best, I would get to the places and people thought I was from HR because I was a woman.
Okay.
Not even for sales, like not even sales. And
Okay.
then I was like, and then every time I was meeting someone, I had to describe everything I was doing, and people was like, "You, a programmer, like you program robots." I was like, "Yeah, I am, yeah." So it got better because I have to talk with a lot of people and explain over and over what I do. But
Mhm.
still, like I was going there asking some places they would come and talk to you. Some places not. Some places would be nice. Some places they would ignore you. That's fine. That's life. But like I had that same concept. Like, but they're
Mhm.
salespeople. What they're gonna tell me that? And then I realized some of that salesperson are really engineers
Mhm.
or
Yeah.
field engineers that become salesperson.
Yeah.
Or salesperson will be like, wait a minute, you need someone with some technical background,
Mhm.
and then they would call somebody else. But depends on your conversation.
Mhm.
But the salesperson, I would say that's the best approach because they're open to talk
Yes, exactly.
and they would know more. And they don't know, but they would know someone that knows.
Mhm. Yeah.
And and that like what happened? Yeah, happened. I think with Epson and Kawasaki in Automatica. I
Mhm.
was there. They were really busy, and I started asking for the trainings. I was like, "Do you have any training in Ireland or UK?" Someone, and the guy is like, "Vanessa, I'm not sure. I'm gonna check with that, and I come back to you." And then they returned me a few weeks later. They checked, but
Mm.
again, they didn't know. Like, and of course, they wouldn't know everything by heart, but at least talk to them. Like, what would you like to know? Oh, you have free trainings? No, we don't. Do you have any online? No, we don't. Do you have this? People saying like, "Oh, how you have a really cool collection?" I was like, "I am."
Mhm.
Now they're sending to me because who I am now and because my LinkedIn and the promotion that I make do for them. But the first 10, I was begging everywhere. I was like, no, can you give me one? It was an automatic. I left there with at least 6 robots, and I was not having a no answer. Like many of those told me no, and I knew they have a small one, a miniature, because I met someone that just got a miniature there, and they was like, no, we don't have one. And I was like, yeah, but like, oh no, just for clients. Sorry, blah blah blah. Fine, but I asked. Like I went to Fanuk. I think last time I went to Fanuk for a training for the safety training. I was there, and then I asked the guys, I don't have any Fanuk. I want one. The guy's like, come on, Vanessa. I was like, I already asked everyone I know from Fanuk. Come on. And of course, after I insist, probably around 2 years, I
Oh
got
wow.
I got 5. Then everyone on the training was like, how did you get them? I was like, I asked.
Mm.
No one went there and asked, but they wanted. They was expecting. I was like, they're not gonna give you if you don't ask. You might not get again. Cannot promise any of those, but you might get. Like I got those, like at least 10 before I was someone on LinkedIn. But if you don't ask, if you don't make connections, if you don't talk to people, oh, but I'm so shy. I'm scared to talk to people. Why, me too. You might not think about that now.
So true.
But if you watch like my first videos around a year and a half ago, you're gonna see it. That was so afraid to talk to people. I still feel a little, I would say overwhelmed, because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, I don't know if you have that problem. You walk inside some rooms and you are the only woman,
Mm-hmm.
or just you and two more. And I still have that feeling, like, how am I going to approach, everyone here to talk? I still have that, especially when there are more men than women. But I was like, what I can do? I have to do that, because there is not many over there, and I need to open some doors for, the other ones, so that when they come in, they'll be easier for them. And I wish I had more people inside. Like, it was like, yeah, no, women here, it's normal. And it was not the first time. Again, like, I worked in so many events and meetings and some things like that. That was just the only woman.
Yeah, I think it also works in a favor because people remember you then. So that also
Yeah,
works
no,
in a
it's
positive
great.
way.
It was great when I was starting my business,
Hmm.
because I would just present myself as a Vanessa, because first of all, I was the only woman. Second, the chance that there was another woman with the same name was really short. So it was easy. It's like, yeah, that girl that had hair. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, she does that. So it was easy to people to remember. But for me, it was scary to walk into a room with a lot of men, and like, sometimes the double of my age, and I have to walk in and then I explain that I know something that they don't, that I work with robots, that I program the robot, and I'll be like, half of them will be like, excuse me, like, do you want what? So, like, what I can do, like, I'll hide myself and just like, yeah, that's it, I'm not gonna do it. Again, I still having that feeling today that people know me. Like, it's so weird. Like, I went to record a video with a robot. I'm not gonna say the name. But there was a man there, and he was surprised that I just asked the other person to record. I got the teach pen, and then I charged the robot, and I explained everything by heart like this. And he looked at me and was like, "Oh, do you know how to do it?" I was like, "Yeah, I programmed this for life." Like, this here, the video is just a hobby, but I kind of do this for business, like a program robot. But like, and this was last year. Like, by then I had like 50,000 followers. What happened? Still happening by now. So I kind of got used to, and try my best and do it. Ask. People gonna say no. People gonna laugh at you. People gonna like, wait a minute, what do you do? But again, more people talk, more people want to remember you, and that's what you want. Because once they ask, and then you're gonna remember that, yeah, I know that woman. She was in that event. I think she worked with robots. Like, I don't remember by now, but I think, and that's how business happened. Like, how I got at least two or three of my clients because of this, not a direct call, but because someone that I met recommended me for somebody else. So again, you never know who you're meeting. Like, you never know if that person is a cousin of somebody else, or if that person goes to the same gym as somebody else. Like, again, like, stop focus. Well, I'm gonna just approach people that work in sales or just in marketing, because that's where I want to work. It was like, you never know. Like, you might meet someone else with better contact. And actually, I got that from my experience. But cannot guarantee that happens with everyone. But when I met the same people as with the same position, not before I opened my business, with the same level of position or the same position as me, they never recommend me. Like, if I was looking for a job and I was like, oh yeah, remember that we met and so like, oh no, we don't. Why? Because they don't want that competition. Well, that happened
Mm.
with me. I cannot say that's with everyone. So, but then if I met somebody else in that company with other area, they would recommend.
Mm. Yeah.
So again, might not be a good point if you just met people at the same level of you, or the same level or the same position you want to get, because it might have a competition. They might not recommend you because they don't know, oh yeah, no, that person won my job.
Mm.
And that happened with me more than once. So again, my experience
Yeah,
might
I
not
think
happen for everyone.
yeah, I think it might happen for anyone who is in that same position. And then
Like, I try my best. Of course, like nowadays, I don't have that many connections to know who is hiring and who is not hiring.
mm,
And I usually just recommend people that I know myself in person. Because a lot of people on LinkedIn is like, oh, you know any job? Like, can you recommend me? It's like, sorry, I never met you in person. How I can recommend you?
obviously.
Like you don't even live in Ireland. How I can recommend you? But like if I know that person, it's like, yeah, I know this person, she's great or he is great, and like he can do this. I recommend service. Like for example, I do not service robots, and I do have a training for some of them, but it's not something I really enjoy doing it. I did the train. I got trained because I want to know, like learning. That was something that I want to know how to do it, but not something that I sell as a service, because something it's really not I would something that I'm not enjoying doing it. I would say like that. I was just curious about it, so that's why I got trained. And my plan is to get trained in the other robots because I like that thing to open and build the robot again, but it's just for learning. So then every time I receive an email, oh, no, I don't, but I know someone here. Do you know some? No, I don't do that, but I recommend someone. I'm really open, and sometimes I recommend some competitors. Yeah, like someone asked for a type of service. It's like I do something similar, but I know you need someone like 24/7, and I'm not offering this right now. So here's this company they do, and they're great and they're fine. I don't mind doing that, but like I like to know the person I'm recommending, because you never know, like that who you recommend. But again, talking to people,
Yeah,
I know it's not easy, especially for a shy person, and you're
especially
like,
for
oh
tech
yeah,
people.
yeah, I know, I was there. I got better after talking, recording videos, much
Mm.
better. But my first year, I was going to events and talk like probably four people and come back home, and I was like, my goodness, what I'm done. I went there and didn't talk to anyone, and but you need to try it. And I was like, if I don't do that, who is gonna do it? I'm the only one. Unless you open your business and then you hire a salesperson, you might can afford one. I couldn't, and I still can't. So I have to do myself.
Yeah, I think that's a full experience that you can have as a founder. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, yeah, that's wow. You learn a little bit of everything. And when I say
Hmm.
everything, even our the payslip, the pay yourself,
Mm.
uh, with like tracking your expenses. I was like, accounts. I swear to, I got a train. I got training to help with my accounts, at least to keep track. Of course, I have an accountant, but like again, I have to do myself, and he just kind of double check. But I was like, I never thought about that part of business,
Yeah.
or the sales part. Again, I was not great at selling anything. Like I was talking to the customer by the end when the machine was ready and we were just testing, and everything was fine. But yeah, things you have to learn. But again, you need to be up to. You're gonna be great the first time. No, you're gonna be terrible. You're gonna like probably say the wrong things or not doing a good speech myself the first time. But you have to start at some point, and then you get better.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That's so true. I think we, I mean, not only me, but a lot of people got a lot of insights from you for sure. What would be your last advice for anyone watching this? Because especially this is released on Women's Day, so anything special for women watching this?
First of all, happy International Women's Day, and well, be there for, like, I'm here for you girls, and like sharing as much as I can. And I would say, well, I said that already in the interview, but again, trust in yourself. Doesn't need to be like, if you see a job, I would say for someone that want to change careers like I did, you'd be like, well, but I don't have experience, or I don't match all the descriptions on that job position. Well, the men that are applying for the job also don't, but they do apply. So you need to, forget about that. Just send your CV the best you can do. Like, just go to the interview. Let that be more confident on what you're doing. You have to try. People, the men, they're not, I would say, better than us because they know more or they're more experienced. Of course, some of them are more experienced, of course. But what I'm saying is, they don't apply for the job because they know everything. They apply for the job because they want to. And we should do the same. If you want that job, apply for it. I don't have all the requirements. Fine. But if you have at least 50, you should send your CV? Yes. You should talk to people? Yes. Because you need to be more confident. You might not know, but you know that you can learn. For example, I know that I'm a quick learner. I can learn a software like that. I have learned to program a robot in less than a day. So nowadays when people say, it's like, oh yeah, can you do this in such robots? It's like, I don't know that robot, but like in a week I can learn that. If you know you can do it, just lose that fear. Or again, you don't need to be 100% tick all the items of that job description. If you have 50, go for it because it's what everybody else is doing. And again, the fear, that is on us, that's the pressure. And also, I don't know if you have time, something this is my experience. Don't put that pressure on yourself. Most of the situations nowadays, still you're gonna probably be the first one, the only one, or just a few one working if you go to automation and robotics. Unfortunately, it's gonna take a few years to have more, more of us there, hopefully. But don't put the pressure that you have to be the best because you're the only one. You don't. You do your job as best you can do it, but without that pressure that you have to be the best. Of course, if you want to be the best, you be the best. But don't go working every day that, oh my God, I cannot make a mistake because I need to justify my place here. That was me. And then you are so afraid to make mistakes that you don't learn. Like, most of our knowledge comes from mistakes. We make mistakes and we learn. And that's the process. That's normal in robotics. And once I learned that, I was like, wow, everybody makes mistakes. Yeah, because we are programming something new never done before, or you're just creating AI that no one has done before. So of course you're gonna make mistakes, and you have to. So that's how you learn. But again, remove that pressure that you have to be the best, and that you cannot make mistakes, and then your life is gonna be much easier.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. I think those advices are applicable for not only robotics, but all the other fields and all the women listening to this and all the other people also who are feeling this pressure on themselves. Maybe they also can get a lot of things out of it. So, yeah, I think thank you so much, Vanessa. It was amazing talking to you. And thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And yeah, hope you have a nice evening.
Thank you very much. Thank you for this opportunity, and I'm looking forward to see this online. And again, happy International Women's Day.
Yes. Nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you.